Australian Sports Sedans back tonight for round number 4 for live from Phillip Island Race Circuit. And we've got all the regulars out there for our 590th broadcast. Welcome, Keith. Welcome, people that are just tuning in. Get ready for some action tonight. We're going to have a 2-race format tonight, with the first race being 22 laps around the circuit, followed by the 50k plate 12-lap feature race at the end of the night. So it's always a pleasure to come here. And how cool is that? Opening music from Ran McClurkin himself, and Ran is out on the track right now. We're having a quick look at him, and no doubt he's keen for tonight's action as well. The McLaren breathing fire as always. The circuit joined us on the map this time. There you go. Let's take us down to some times in practice right now. 13 minutes into the 25-minute practice session, it is Brocky Schaefer sitting on top in the BMW tonight. One Motorsports doing a very, very nice job at the moment. 1 and a bit tenths of a second over Ryan Simpson, and then you got Benjamin Roberts, who has won 4 championships in this series. Currently sitting in 3rd place in the time. Hayden Carroll's there as well with Samuel Collins. Eddie Metz out in the Merc tonight. He's currently sitting 6th place with Kurt Bond in the Ford. Sitting just behind him, Brendan Jenner, and then Ross Hansen. There's Brendan Jenner in that Tony Ricciardello-inspired Ferrari there. Ross Hansen running in 9th place, and rounding out your top 10 this early in practice is the wonderful Tony Dom. We'll talk to Ran McClurkin shortly, and we'll sort of talk about, this is the penultimate round of the championship, so as far as series points go, we're getting down to the pointy end. Who else is out of there? Ash McClurkin is out there on the track too. There he is. He's in the Merc as well as someone goes off the track. We are on a Tuesday night for the first time too. I wonder if that's caught anyone out tonight and they've forgotten to come and race in this series. We've got just on 21 cars though. Rue Koister's back. I just saw him loading in, tuning in, getting ready to go. Will Wilson's in the house. Neil Yates with the 50 stars. Thanks, mate. Floggum Brocky says, hello, Brett Knuckles. And thanks, Keith, for the 100 stars. Welcome aboard tonight to round number 4 of 5 of this fantastic championship. Matty Dexter's out there in the Big M Lamborghini as well. And Rob Medson just setting a lap time for P13th. Who else we got out there? Shane Nichols. Mark Pryor running through all the names here. Lockie Barlow's out there as well in the Mercedes tonight. Daniel Ollerman's out there in the Audi, which has been pretty strong. I expect it to be strong here tonight as well at this race circuit. PJ Whiteman out there in the Lamborghini with the driving light ablaze. We do have early morning conditions here at Phillip Island. 18 degrees ambient, 18 degrees track temp, and the time locked here at Phillip Island at 5:59 a.m. in the morning. So there you go. It's going to be nice and cool throughout the duration of the race tonight. A few drivers just coming out for another outlap now, no doubt, with making a couple of little setup adjustments. It is a fully open setup league this time around, which they have been fixed setup for many a moon, but now they've gone to the open setups. Keith Logan with a 44-week streak. Keithy boy, that is incredible. Thanks for all your support, man. Almost a year and more jumping in and helping and supporting what I do here at RACESTARS TV. It's we got tomorrow night the Pro Series back on RACESTARS TV, our production anyway. I'm doing the production. We'll be joined by some great commentators, Jake and the Sandman, and of course Thursday night V8 Vets before we have Friday night off and head down for a quick fly in and out of Melbourne, and then back Saturday night for V8 Vets and their series, or their split 2, which will be fantastic. And Brock Schaefer just goes to the top of the times now by just under 0.2 of a second with a 1:24.784. And I'm very happy to welcome into the booth Mr. Ran McClurkin. Hello, and welcome back to Phillip Island, mate, for another exciting night.
I know, it's come around quicker this time, hasn't it?
Well, it's a Tuesday, so it has come around quicker.
Yeah, I think we've lost a few people because it's a Tuesday, but oh well, things happen. But anyway, yeah, we're back to Phillip Island for a run, and as is actually where the next state round for sports sedans is. So yeah, it's fitting, I think.
I was just giggling because I read your comment in the general chat for season 7 about it being a Tuesday, and you pointed it out very well that it is tonight, not tomorrow night.
Mate, I'm getting asked questions on how many laps we're doing tonight, so people don't read things.
Well, it's 22 and 12, of course.
Oh well, I don't know. Maybe I need like spotlights on it. We probably need Neil Yates in here to tell everybody how many laps it is, because everyone listened to him.
Well, it is 22 laps to the first race, 12 for the 50k plate. And we're getting to the pointy end of the series. It is a 5-round series, only one to go after this. And how's it looking in the championship at this stage? It must be pretty close.
Oh my God, you're putting me on the spot. You didn't tell me. I'll have a look. Oh, I have been putting stuff up about the championship, so give me 1 second.
That's all right.
Here we go. Open original. Here we go.
Well, it's looking like Brendan Jenner is on top.
Brendan Jenner. Yeah. Young Jenner, look at him go. On what is he, 270 points? I think I can read on that.
Yeah, he's been consistent. I think that's the key.
Yeah, look, I did the points and they didn't make any sense, but no one complained, so they must be right. But yeah, look, it'll be interesting to see. I think because Brock missed that first round, it's really hurt him. Not that he is too fussed about it, but yeah, I don't even know if mathematically, I suppose the guys in front of him all have to have terrible races, don't they?
No drop rounds in the series?
Nah, it's boring, isn't it?
Boring.
I think if we were doing like 10 rounds maybe, but nah, not for a 5-round sweet little short series.
I'm trying to bring the points up on the screen. It's a little bit hard for me to do it. I'm going to try and move it over this way, but you can see it now.
We've got what do we got? Jenner on top with Roberts, followed by Simpson. So Simpson was actually caught up in a few crashes last round that I potentially probably could have given him a penalty, but I didn't want to do that. No one protested. I had a couple of people complain after the fact, but life moves on. Brock, yeah, I'd be curious to see if Brock can do anything there. Sam and H are doing well, though, in the Porsches, I think.
Yep, and because I noticed there that if you look through the round by round, Ben Roberts had a shocker in round 2, or race 2, I should say, with the 4 points only. That was at Oran Park, the second race at Oran Park. Where Jenner excels is he's been super consistent, but then you look at Brock Schaefer, and those last 4 races, including the last one there, some high point scores. So it'll come around at the end, I'm sure. Rook Hoyster's in there as well, Nichols and Medson, Gretsch. It's a good top 10, but everyone's put some good performances in, and also some bad ones.
Yeah, unfortunately, Aaron can't run because he's doing real race car stuff for the last 2 rounds, so that's where he'll stay. And looks like we haven't got Kai tonight as well. Kai was a bit upset with there was a bit of running into each other, I think, so I don't know if he'll be back either.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, it is, but you know,
it's part and parcel of it, right? I mean, it's meant to be fun as well.
You'd think so. You know what, this season probably has been the most fun, to be fair. Like, there's been I think only one use of the word toss up, and that was not by me, by the way, by one person towards another person, and I think that is the extent of it. So I can tell you right now, that is by far the best season we've.
And it's good to see your brother back. He's in the pits at the moment. He is, so I can't show him. But just for those at home, we've put Ran and Ashley. We've put a little A and an R next to their names, their surnames in brackets, just to help you know who's who out in the zoo.
Well, Ash will be in front.
Well,
I haven't done many laps here. I've been too busy doing other stuff, so I'll just yeah. Ash and I actually only did one practice session, I think, yesterday, and that's it.
Yeah, cold conditions, a bit dark out there. It's going to be. The track obviously locked at that time, so it's not going to evolve as far as temperature getting any greater, which means it's good for conditions. Have we got a reverse grid 50k plate?
We shouldn't have a reverse grid unless I mucked it up.
Okay.
So 50k plate is standard grid and will be actually for the first time ever points as well.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Because I didn't put it at the end, I thought
yep.
Let's make it part of the championship, but still have that sort of second race. So yeah, that should that gives people like Brock and Benny, I suppose, that opportunity to catch up to BJ. And where is BJ? BJ is 5th at the moment, so he'll definitely want to be better than that to mix it with them. But the boys in the Ferrari have been complaining, but in saying that, nearly everyone's been complaining they can't hold it flat through turn 1.
Yep.
I don't know. I've never been able to hold it flat through turn 1 in real life, so I don't know what they're expecting. But anyway.
And speaking of real life, Rand, much coming up in the world of Sports Sedans?
Yeah, so Sports Sedans the Nationals are in about 4 weeks at Tailem Bend with the supercars, so in South Australia. And they've got 24 cars entered so far, and entries close on the 4th of July. I'm pretty sure that's a song or something. And so, yeah, it's a pretty good field. My understanding is 22 of those cars are Sports Sedans. There are 2 invited Mark II cars from my understanding, from the info that I have. So that's a really good field. So that'll be, my understanding is qualifying and all races will be live on Foxtel.
Awesome.
and KOs, so that's super cool. And yeah, I think that'll be super exciting. Obviously, there'll be some South Australia boys that were running in this series in the earlier days. They'll be there in real life, like Miles and I can't think of anyone else now, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yep. Awesome.
You can fill in the blanks.
I was just watching Kurt Bond having quite an awkward little off down there at Siberia. He's got it back on the racetrack now, but he got himself right up on the embankment, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, I think it's what we've noticed actually is that since the update, the cars have changed. So when that update came, it was pretty soon, early on in the series. But yeah, now we've come back to this track where we practiced on before we started the series. Yeah, it's very evident that the BOP and some handling has changed. And we should also thank Tony Dunn for the sponsorship tonight. I said, do you want to come and chat? And he said no. So I just said that would say he's a real cool guy.
Well, Tony Don done good.
Tony Dunn. Don, very good. I like that.
Yeah.
Don, I think he's got the Don on his car, doesn't he?
He's done the sponsorship for tonight, and he's done a really good job. So
lots of Don. He's doing it all Don.
The car looks great too. I've always loved his livery, and I reckon he's stuck with the exact same livery, be it little adjustments here and there, since day dot of this series, which is awesome.
So Tony Don is like the polar opposite of that Rand McClurkin bloke who changes his livery quite often during the series. Not this time, but usually every race. So good on him for sticking with it. He likes it. Yeah.
Well, I got to say, I mean, I like your livery this time out. We can't see you now because you're in the pits. Oh, no, we can actually because you're stationary in the pits. So there's a look at yours. And I'm so used to seeing yours all scribbled on and some awesome art. But this is uniquely beautiful as well.
Well, as we spoke about, it's the homage to the 300ZX that Keith Carling drove. So, with a couple of extra little sponsors on there, but yeah, like I'm a big fan of that car. In saying that, I don't know if you saw Luke because you're probably busy, but I've just finished liverying up my car that I'm running next weekend with TT, not this weekend, just for a bit of a shakedown. So yeah, and that's got lots of scribble all over.
Is that somewhere I can quickly show it up on the screen while we're talking about? Can you send it to me on Discord or?
I probably can actually. Yeah, I will do that. I'll do that. Yeah, I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, are we?
I don't know. You deleted your account, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I do these kinds of things.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm gonna send them. I'm gonna send you some pictures though.
Yeah. Well, you can. I'll talk about them while you're in quali. Maybe we could chat about it later after the race tonight, because it is quali time, by the way.
Oh, is it? Oh, bugger. I don't even know if I wanted quali. I'll find you some pictures. That's an engine bay picture. I'll find you another one though. Where is another picture?
Here we go. So they're coming across to Discord now. Let me make this full screen. And oh, that looks sick. All right, we'll push this up so everyone can see.
Check this one.
Wow, that's a mighty big picture, by the way. I've got it. So tell us about the engine bay quickly. That looks sick.
So it's just an LS1. This is a mild one, but we're going to build up a bigger motor for next season, hopefully. Yeah, so it's a 350Z with a Chev in it. I bought this car back. I built it about 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I've decided to go down the LS route now, and I've got my 180 for sale. There
you go. There's a shot of it now. That looks mega, man. That looks so cool.
You got the front shot, have you?
I got the front shot now. That is that's a mean look. That's a mean looking machine.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be down the back, but they'll be like, that car looks sick. It's a bit slow, but it looks sick.
It looks awesome, man. Well, good luck for qualifying. We'll chat to you later on.
All right, cheers.
Do well, man. All right, that's Rand McClurkin coming in for a chat before we go into quali. It is the outlaps happening right now. Let's crank up the sound of these cars and turn down the music. And watch these guys go out for a 10-minute quali session. Remember, if you crash the car during qualifying, you can't continue. You got to ease up. I'll go through a few comments now that I've neglected while I've been talking to Rand there, but it was great to catch up with Rand again. And let's quickly run through a few of those. As Pete Ellenbogen reminds us that the Victorian 2-litre Sports Sedans are running at Winton next weekend, 9th to the 10th of July. And hello, Mark Pryor. Have a good night, he says. Peter Ellenbogen says, well done for 590 broadcasting. Incredible stats for 2 and a bit years. Thanks, man. It's been fun. Are you still there, Rand?
Where's Oily Man?
Oh, no. It's the drivers out on the track that are chatting. So, righto, let's concentrate now and have a watch as we see Benjamin Roberts into his quali lap now. Those times that are just popping up at the top are out lap times, so they're not really anywhere near where they're going to hit once they get a full lap in here. There is the Porsche too. Samuel Collins, always looking incredibly fantastic. Good shot from the drone cam, which just captures this big braking zone into Honda, rotating the car and then trying to squirt out of there. So important to get a good run. And a couple of lines available for options here, Siberia as well. And you can see from the long shot, he's getting a nice little bit of a slipstream here off the back of Brendan Jenner. Sorry, no, off Benny Roberts, isn't it? So that'll just help him move along nicely as they go underneath our camera now. Mini Muscle Cars, Machine Cold entry. He needs a good performance tonight just to try and edge back into the lead of the championship. Eddie Metz goes through P2. That's an outlap time as well. So we're just watching the consistency of this first lap from Ben Roberts. What's he going to post when he comes across the line? And will it be a 124? We're jumping on board with him now. Onto the pit straight here at Phillip Island, flat out. The revs rises, the speed goes with it. He'll cross the line here around 250 kph as he crosses the line. And the time goes up with a 125.0, so it doesn't get into the 24s just yet. Pretty decent time though to open up the bank. Carroll goes within 3/10, 6/10 for Jenner. Oh, we got a big snap of oversteer there for Carroll. He's in a bit of strife and he heads off the racetrack. That may spoil the lap of the Ferrari of Jenner, who had to take evasive action, has gone off onto the grass. Luckily though, in the Tony Ricciardello car, didn't smash it up, so continue on. Hayden Carroll has ejected to the pits, which means his lap is run and done. In fact, his qualifying is run and done as Brock Schaefer goes around the outside of Ryan Simpson. Simpson and Schaefer currently sitting up there in third and second position respectively. So pretty quick times at the top. The top three separated by just under 1.5 tenths of a second. It is super close. Knockles goes across the line in that beautiful Audi now. Chill Out Motorsport Audi in P7 with Matt Dexter, Lockie Barlow and Ash McClurk, and just pipped then for a top 10 position by this man, the Barbara Streisand nose BMW. Mark Pryor looking very good. I nearly sung some Barbara Streisand then, and I thought, thank God I saved myself. That would have been very, very awful. Yeah, Eddie, says Peter Ellenbogen. He's up there. He Met's P6 at the moment. How cool does this Merc sound? Let's crank up the sound of it. Listen to this. Yeah, baby. It sounds so good, doesn't it? It's a thumping big V8 in there, and gee whiz. He's driving it well too. So it's still Roberts at the top. I'm just watching the times as they're posted. Crossing the line shortly, Matt Dexter. Can he improve? He's coming through the final couple of corners now onto the pit straight in the Big M Lamborghinis. 1.4 seconds at the moment off the top time as he crosses start finish line. Does he improve? He does by 1/10 of a second, but stays P11. Ross Hansen goes up into 9th place now in the Ford, and the top 6 have retired to the pit lane. So they've done what they've got to do. Ram McClurkin's out on the track now, currently P17, as Ash McClurkin jumps up to 10th place. How beautiful does that look? Making its way through the hay shed up towards Lukey and breathing fire as it does out that tailpipe there. Watch the flames as it backs off and all that unburnt fuel goes out the back end. See you later, it says, as the Machine Cult Motorsports entrant. The maestro, the man that orchestrates this fantastic Sports Sedan eSeries, goes out to set his first real flying lap here. What's it going to be? He's 18th, 3 seconds off the top time at the moment. Crosses the line and now, and will post a time. The 128.2 stays 18th. Tony Don's gone off the racetrack. That's down at MG, and he's just recovering down there. Who have we got back out on the track? So they've all come back out again. Obviously a quick splash of fuel. They can run different setups for qualifying in this series now. So they will be running minimal fuel in qualifying. Then they've got to remember to put the fuel in for the race. If you forget to do that, you have one of those embarrassing, awkward 3rd or 4th lap stops where you've got to go and take on fuel. Ross Hansen at the moment sitting in 9th place. He's the top Ford time. Kurt Bond's the other one at the moment out there, 16th place. These two guys driving the Ford, looking fantastic too. Not the most popular car to choose out there, although Ram McClurkin's McLaren is the sole McLaren. If we run down the list of cars at the moment leading the times, it's the Ferrari of Ben Roberts on top from 2 BMWs and the Porsche of Carroll. The Ferrari of Jenna. Eddie Metz is the top Mercedes-Benz at the moment, ahead of the Porsche of Collins. Knockles is the top Audi in 8th place. Hansen McClurkin, Ash McClurkin that is, round out your top 10 in the Merc. So it's a good mix though, it's a good spread of cars, which is what we love about this series. We always have as Collins lights the timing screens up, coming down to cross the line now. He's looking pretty good to move up a position. He's 8/10 off at the moment. What does he do through the final sector? Crosses the line and does a 1:31.8, so he backs off on that lap and unfortunately doesn't improve. He may push this time though for a timed lap. We'll stay with him for a moment and just ride down through the southern loop on board with Sam Collins, the back end of the car, trying to fight him there. And that's not going to be quick. Whenever you see that oversteer, he's having to back out of the throttle and no confidence in the rear end of the car. Now he goes down through Stoner towards the big braking zone for Honda Hairpin. Hard on the brakes now. He aims it across to the apex. Hugs the apex nicely. Now squeeze the throttle in, trying to light up those big rear tyres. And he heads up towards Siberia. Big left hand floating corner. You've got to try and double apex this. You can run the high go-kart line as well. Now he goes up towards the hay shed as a 24.8 for Roberts at the top. Sets a blistering time there. 3/10 quicker than anyone else. Through the hay shed we go now. Up towards Lukey, and we hold our breath as we try and stay nice and neat to the apex, and he's lost it. Comes off the circuit and he's going to hit the wall down there. He does hit the fence, so unfortunately it's all come undone there for Collins, and he ejects back to the pits. He says, see you later. Have I still got the sound? I do. There you go. So he's gone back to the pits. Ryan Simpson stopped as well, so he's now out of qualifying. And it looks like Roberts will hold that pole position from Simpson, and Schaefer will start from the second row. Do you want to start from the second row here? Maybe it's a better one to get that run and that launch and that early slipstream down. Eddie Metz is also about to finish his qualifying session. Brendan Jenner P6 on a lap. He's got about 50 seconds to complete it. I'm not sure he will. Jordan Knockles as well, just coming down to MG now. He'll get to go through 11 and 12 and finish his lap in the Audi, screaming away. There he is, great livery, great. They've done a good job with painting the suit there as well. That looks really cool. And coming down the pit straight now, the Audi for Chill Out Motorsports. Will cross the line. Can he improve? He's currently 1.1 seconds off the top time. Goes across the line with a 1 minute 26.2, stays P8. And with that, I think we've done all our qualifiers. I don't think Jenna's going to make it to the line. Alderman's is off the track. There's Jenna just going down through MG now. He's only got 10 seconds to make it to the flag. I don't think that is going to happen, as Rand sends me another sweet picture of his car. Check that out. That is an incredible looking race car. So well done, Rand. Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, it's time to go racing here, though, in the Australian Sports Sedans. Let's head down to the track and get underway. Rolling start, so we've got a bit of time here to talk about the positions, the qualifying order, heroes, the results from quali coming up on your screen anytime tomorrow. Come on, software, do as you're told. There it is. Roberts, by just over 0.2 of a second in the end, gets pole position for the Mini Muscle Cars, Machine Colt car. Then it's Ryan Simpson, P2, Parramatta Smash Repairs, 27 hundredths off the pace. Brock Schaefer for Cert One Motorsport goes within 0.4 of a second. Eddie Metz just under 0.6 off the pace for P4. Then it's Carroll, Jenner, Collins, Knockles, Hansen and Ash McClurkin. Rounds out your top 10, so nice qualifying result. Let's go to the grid. This is how they will start this race tonight. Roberts off the front row with Simpson. Watch out for the second row, Brock Schaefer. Watch out for him just sneaking his way down towards the lead come Southern Loop. Eddie Metz may have a shot as well. Carroll and Jenner off the third row. They'll just be trying to keep their nose clean. So will Collins, Knockles, Hansen and McClurkin. The aim of the game is just to make it through the first couple of corners. Lockie Barlow 11th and Dexter. They'll start making their moves down towards the Honda hairpin. 12th position, it will be Shane Nichols with Mark Pryor, Grumpy Motorsport. Let's hope he starts there tonight and doesn't go to the pit lane. Aldermans will start from 15th. Tony Don 16th. A big thanks to All in One Motorsport for their sponsorship for tonight. Kurt Bond 17th with Rob Benson, your 18th position. Ram McClurkin starts down there in 19th place on the grid. PJ Whiteman alongside him, and Rue Koistra starts off the back of the grid tonight. So, well, let's get underway. Thanks, Rob Griffiths. He says, have a good call, Luke. 590th. That's impressive. Hello, Spike Goddard as well. Says, hello, Luke. you ever get a night off? No, I don't. I'm literally dying. Do I sound happy? Do I sound sane? I'm literally dying, folks. But I do love my motor racing. I do love RACESTARS TV, and I do love you guys. And I really have a roster right now of series that I absolutely adore. So that's why I'm here every night of the week. And even when I can't be here, we're racking up replay broadcasts to do. So they roll away behind the Porsche safety car one lap. We've got the new drone cam down here at turn 1, which sits nicely there ready to go. And we'll pick up all the action shots as it floats around over the field. Smallish field tonight. We've got 18 starters. Don Hansen and Kurt Bond have all decided to go back to the pit lane. But it will be this man, Roberts and Ryan Simpson, to lead us off on the front row when they get around to the other side of the racetrack. Hey, the chopper's pretty loud up there. Let's just turn that down a little bit. Up in the sky. The eye in the sky. Gives you a good shot of Southern Loop. It does loop right back around on itself. And then that big high-speed Casey Stoner corner, or Stoner corner, the left-hander. Big gravel trap there, so you can usually get away with it if you do come off there, if you run a little bit wide, but it's generally the place you want to be, hugging the left-hand side of the track and trying to line it up for when you get down to the big stomp on the brake pedal at Honda Hairpin. So a nice sedate, quiet lap at the moment as we roll around. There's another shot. We've got the long shot from our Hayshed drone camera as well, sitting up in the sky. And what about Jordan Knockholes? What can he do from just outside the top 6 getting underway? He'll start alongside the Porsche of Samuel Collins as well. What I love about this series too, a lot of these names have been here since the start of the Sports Sedan series, since we first did our season 1, which was 2.5 years ago or so. I really kicked off doing this in April, was it April 2020? Or was it 19? I'm so confused right now. Maybe in 2019, was it? Let me quickly bring up my records. So it's, I had a funny moment today. I had to go buy a diary for work. I went into Office Works and I said, look, I'm after a 2021 diary. And she looked at me quite funny and I said, yeah, and we don't have any of those. Oh, really? Anyway, so I walked out and I walked up the street. And I said to myself, my God, it's 2022. Went back and bought a 2022 diary. Right, let's get ready to go green. Oh, I was so disappointed that they wouldn't stock a 2021 diary. What a goose. I am definitely tired. Here we go. We're getting set to go racing. So 22 laps to kick off tonight's race. And then we've got the 50k plate coming up after that, March 2020. Thanks, Peter. And yep, that's when we kicked it all off. And we are here 2.25 years later, 590 broadcasts. I think we're almost over 100, aren't we? Sports Sedans broadcast. A very slow start here. Roberts holding the pack back. He doesn't want to get this underway. This is strategic. Now he jumps and he gets underway right at the line, the last minute. Interesting. Here's the run down towards turn 1. It's Roberts, the dig it away from Simpson. They're even. It's 4 wide in the background. Hold your horses. We've got a spinner there. It's Eddie Metz. Eddie Metz has gone around. There's a huge carnage. Jenna's gone over. There's about 4 or 5 cars wiped out in the opening corner. And wow-wee. So big one. McClurkin's off there. Carroll's off there as well. Simpson comes out on top. And who else did we lose? McClurkin Ran is up into 5th place. So in all that, Ran McClurkin has skipped his way right up the order. So wow-wee. What a start. No safety cars being called. We run on with it. You can have a quick look at the replay now. I think there was a bit of contact that turned Metz around, and then the carnage followed. We'll get a replay of it shortly. Unfortunately, Eddie's jumped back to the pits. And who else has jumped back to the pits? We've lost a couple of other drivers. McClurkin is still out there. And will they call a safety car? There was no abuse across the chat, that's for sure. Rob Griffiths goes, that's what happens when you hold the pack up. And it was a really long hold from the pole sitter, Ben Roberts, which probably got a few guys off guard. It really compressed the field. And yeah, maybe I'm not sure. I mean, it's within the rules and regulations, but what it has done is made everyone check up and maybe balk the field a little bit, which in turn has created a huge crash. We've got the top 2, Schaefer and Simpson, duking it out. The rest of the field way back. You can see the gap. It's about 4.6 seconds. to Barlow. Alderman Rue Koistra's jumped up in the Lamborghini. Oh, and he's lost it. Koistra's off into the fence too. Big impact down there, so they're falling like flies. Medson goes through up into 6th now. McClurkin up into 7th. Nichols finds himself in the top 5s, as does Daniel Aldermans. He's now up into 4th place. Lockie Barlow's running 3rd behind Schaefer and Simpson. And there is carnage out there tonight, so it's not the usual clean start to a sports sedan race. Koistra struggling. He's got some steering damage and trying to get back onto the racetrack as Carroll comes through. He's going to come across that limping Koistra shortly. There he goes. So we'll go and have a quick look at the replay of the start now. Let's see if we can dissect what happened. Let's go green flag on the replay. So we might even have a look from on board here with Eddie Metz. Might be the go. So this is the on board with Metz. So they're being held up. You can see Schaefer was almost on the back of Simpson, then on the back of Roberts. Let's just slow this down to slow speed. Now, does Jenner get into the back of Metz here? We'll go looking at the back. Yeah, so he's already pushing him at that point, the bonnet well inside the car. I think that's then unsettled Metz, and Metz is going to go around, and he chops off the nose of, that's Carroll who gets chopped off there. Then Jenner goes to the outside. Now, who's the one that gets absolutely poleaxed there? I think it's, oh yeah, so Jenner then goes over. Then it's the chill out car that goes up in the air as well. McClurkin gets unfortunately involved in that too. And, well, the sea parted for a few drivers. Let's have a look at the onboard of Ram McClurkin. That's what I want to see. He avoided all that carnage off the start. Here it was. Check this out. So from the back of the pack, he waits for the green. And then watch the sea part in front of him as we get the green now. And off he goes. He floors it. He doesn't know that there's about to be a massive impact up ahead. He backs out, which is what probably a lot of the drivers should have done. Just backs out, keeps his distance, keeps a couple of car lengths, and then watch this. Down into the into turn 1. There are cars over in the air, and then he says, right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you very much. And he goes past Metz as well and brings himself up into the top 5. So incredible start from McClurkin. Let's go back to live and pick up the action though, because Schaefer is leading the race. Brock Schaefer out in front by 0.3 of a second. Ryan Simpson keeping him company. And lap 4 now of this race. And the field very, very spread out as Ryan Simpson stays right underneath the rear wing of that BMW. BMW 1-2 at the moment. Lockie Barlow is sitting back 7.2 seconds off the lead in the Merc for Barlow Racing. Then you've got Nichols next in line in the Lamborghini, and Rob Medson, currently the top 5, separated by just over 10 seconds on lap 4. Ram McClurkin at the moment with Benny Roberts, who I wonder if he's carrying some damage because he has not been able to get himself back up into this. His last lap was a 26.1. The leaders did a 26.2. Okay, so I take that back. He's actually on pretty good speed here. He's got to just try and find his feet and get back up into podium contention. Remember, he had that bad race 2 at Oran Park. And if he has another one tonight, that might be the championship run and done. Hello to our YouTubers and Twitchers tonight. Very quiet over there. You're all very nervous and shy or something tonight. I'm not sure what's going on. And yeah, Peter Ellenbogen's right. We did our very first Australian Sports Sedan, or National Sports Sedan it was called at the time, eSeries. On, let's quickly look at my records. It was the 7th of the 4th. So the 7th of April, 2020. So April, May, June. We're only 2 years and 3 months into broadcasting, really. And 590. I've impressed myself tonight. That's a lot of nights sitting here at this computer. That's for damn sure. Right, out in front, Schaefer and Ryan Simpson. I'm trying to find actually the number of sports sedans broadcasts we've done, because we've done 82 at the start of this season. So 82, 83, 84, 85th tonight sports sedan broadcast since we first kicked off with these guys. So that's quite a big chunk of that big number. So big thanks to Rand for obviously coming back to me time and time again, and a big thanks to everyone that has been a part of this series. It's a great family of guys and girls that have tuned in. We don't get as many as we used to. I remember back in the day, before. I think we must be shadow banned on Facebook now because Facebook's just quiet as. We've got 5,000 followers and we're lucky to get a couple of hundred people view. But we used to get regularly over 5,000 views for the Sports Sedans early on as Matty Dexter avoids some carnage there. Ash McClurkin sneaks through, as does Brendan Jenner. So these guys are just trying to bring themselves somehow back into this race. They didn't lose a lap, or did they? Yeah, Jenner did lose a lap. So everyone from 12th place down, Samuel Collins, has pitted. So this is Jenner trying to unlap himself now on Ram McClurkin, who sits in P8. So we'll see if McClurkin fights this very hard or if he just lets him go through. Obviously the Ferrari of Jenner has been repaired. Rob Medson's gone into the lane in the Audi. And this is going to be a pretty easy overtake in the end. There's Ram McClurkin there bobbling away in the cockpit. Alongside him right now is the Ferrari of Jenner to go through and unlap himself. Ross Hansen will be next up the road. There's Hansen in the forward. Currently sitting in 6th place outright, so great job. And the other forward of Kurt Bond in 12th place, also putting in a great performance tonight in this first of 2 races. 6 of 22 laps run and done. Let's jump into visor cam here with Ryan Simpson, I reckon, because he's still fighting well with Brock Schaefer at the front. Here we go, visor cam. So great battle going on between Schaefer and Simpson. They keep the fight on at the top of the order. The gap sits now at 10.7 seconds, back to P3 as well. So they've walked away from the field. Barlow just coming underneath our camera now and dropping down to MG. Is losing time head over fist here. And I can tell you that Roberts is now only within, 3.6 seconds of Barlow. So Roberts has got himself back in podium contention. We're not even at halfway into this race yet. We've had a couple of other spills. As I just look at the timing screen there, to crash out was Rue Koister again here on lap 5. Quick replay of Rusta. See what happens here. This is down towards Honda hairpin. I think he's going to go straight ahead, is he? No. Loop it around. Interesting little spin, that one. It was an awkward little mid-corner spin for Koister, so he may still be dealing with the pain of burnt hands that he had from a week or so ago. Shane Nichols under some pressure here from Ross Hansen. Hansen currently 6th, Nichols in 5th place. Then you got McClurkin, who's still holding out Allman's, Collins and Medson. So defensive under brakes there. He moved across to block out any chance of a send from Daniel Allmans. And now let's jump on board in the Audi, getting a look at barbecue cam from this perspective. Oh, he's lost the back end down there. So he's now gone right around under the 4 and 20 meat pie sign. And the Chill Out Motorsport driver is losing plenty of ground as through goes the lap car of Dexter. Dexter's down a lap, unfortunately, after that crash for the Big M car. Okay, so as far as battles go, we got this one between Whiteman and Kurt Bond. Bond all over him through the hay shed. This is wheel-to-wheel action. Kurt Bond on the inside, and did Whiteman go off the track there? No, he didn't. They're all good. But nice driving by Kurt Bond to move himself up into 11th place now. And he's driving incredibly well. That's looking very clean too. Not a scratch on that car, the NatWest Finance Ford. Running 11th, one outside the top 10 at the moment. The battle at the front still raging between Schaefer and Simpson. There's two drivers there within 0.6 of a second. Brock Schaefer looks like he's got this in control at the moment. Just give you an indication of the lead here. There goes Schaefer, Simpson. Then 13 seconds back to Barlow. So just wait for Barlow to appear. The gap between Barlow and Roberts is down to 1.3 now. There's Roberts in the background. And then it's an 8-second gap back to Ross Hansen, who just comes into shot now. And Hansen, of course, has Nichols next in order, then Orlemans. He's only just coming around onto the pit straight now. What a picturesque racetrack this is, by the way. Headlights ablaze here in the morning. They look great. And we look back to Medson, then Kurt Bond just coming across the line now as well. Then you got PJ Whiteman and Hayden Carroll in this little battle as well. Side by side, that's a good little scrap. And that's for 12th position, 11th and 12th place, followed by McClurkin, who's slipped back to 13th now, so his race pace just lacking slightly. Schaefer's got the gap out to 1.3. That's the furthest we've seen him now advance that lead. Peter Ellenbogen with a comment says, Bondi is a solid racer, as you will ever find on iRacing. You can go side by side with him and never have any drama, so yeah. He's doing well tonight. He tends to pick an underdog car as well. That Ford isn't super popular. He's driving the wheels off it tonight for P10 now, up 7 positions. Look at the gains. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see 7 for Barlow, 7 for Nichols, 8 for Orlemans, 9 for Medson, and 7 for Bond. A few of those drivers taking big advantage of that big crash at the start as Roberts now gets into 3rd position. Ahead of Barlow, he can now start to just try and concentrate on chasing after Schaefer and Simpson. What he has done is giving himself a bit of an opportunity now in the 50k plate, which comes up at the end of this one, to start at least in P3. Maybe get himself in a chance for another win tonight and some good points. A bit of damage on the right front hand side of Shane's car as well for Motorsport Connections. As Matt Ram McClurkin and PJ Whiteman scrapping back here in 12th place. Let's watch these guys for a moment. Lamborghini versus McLaren, a couple of supercars out there doing battle. McClurkin now has a shot to the inside. He had a much better exit off the corner there. Let's jump on board with Rand. He made a squeeze down the inside into the braking zone on Honda, and he does. They get side by side down here. Who's going to come out in front? It's going to be McClurkin, so nice job. Good overtake, puts himself back in 12th. PJ Whiteman now back to 13th place. As another battle going on up the road is Samuel Collins, who's ahead of Orlemans by about a second at the moment. We're a bit spread out tonight as opposed to our usual format with the sports sedans, but a lot of that has to do with the big opening lap crash. If you missed it, let's just quickly go back and review it once more. It was a big one, and it all happened at the front of the field, being held up, I think just being held back off the start. Check this out. This is how it all unfolded at the start. Sadly, for a few of our favourite drivers, they've ended up in a big bingle. So they rolled away. It was a long hold until they got a chance to get running. Then they did get running. Now watch the green car at the front, Eddie Metz. He'll just get his nose chopped off in a second, and from then on in, Metz got a little bit of a push from behind. Then he went across the front of the Porsche, so he's got his nose chopped off, and then look at that big crash for Jenner. That was huge. He rolled over. He went a mile, as did Samuel Collins. That was a good exit by Collins. Look at that rally style. He goes across and rejoins down in the middle of the loop. Oh, and that's where he got a bump with Tony Don as well. Tony Don wouldn't have appreciated that. And a little bit of front contact has done damage to the Audi there. So that's the start of the race. Just to bring you back up to speed with the carnage that unfolded. 1.4 seconds though covers the top two. And what do you do when the top two are out to get you? Roberts, P3, Barlow fourth still, then Hansen, Nichols, Collins, Allemans. Hey Pete, come and have a chat. Who wants to, everyone vote, Pete Ellenbogen, come and have a chat. I'm feeling lonely in here tonight. YouTube is asleep. Oh, we got Mick Nash, four-wheel drive Explorer, says thoughts on Medson's chances. Medson at the moment, well, he's sitting in 9th place. So he's looking pretty good for top 10. He's got a gap of 4.2 seconds to Allman's in front. You can see Kurt Bond behind is about 2.6 up the road. So Medson looking pretty good to hang on to that position. And then he can mount an attack, obviously, for the second race tonight. But his chances of getting a top 3, pretty slim. He's now 50 seconds off the lead. And we have not got anyone within a second right now. So this is unheard of territory. Hence why I'm waiting for Pete to come and have a quick chat with me and see what's going on. Walls, he said, come on, Pete. I'm lonely. Righto, so Schaefer crosses to start lap 14 of 22. We're nearly 20 minutes into the race. And he's, I think he's unleashed this beast now. Maybe he was running a bit short on fuel at the start, but he's definitely picked up the pace. That was a 26.0 versus a 26.6 for Simpson, 26.2 then for Roberts. So Roberts probably can match the pace, if not go close in the slipstream of Schaefer, sorry, but he cannot at the moment close quickly enough to probably get near them with only a few laps to go. Barlow, meanwhile, did a 27.3. It was a 29.2 for Hansen. So the pace well off in the forward for P5's Ross Hansen. Great looking race car though, isn't it? They do a good job. As I've said many a time, I give them a lot of praise, a lot of props. But to paint these cars, some of them in retro liveries, some of them representing their real life sports sedans, real life race cars. And everyone drives in this series connected somehow with the sports sedans. Be it a driver, pit crew, car owner. It's a fantastic community, as is the Real World Sports Sedans. Make sure you go and check them out when next available. It's coming up very soon at Winton next weekend. Was it next weekend, Pete? Let's scroll back and have a look. Sorry, July. 9th and 10th of July. 2 litre sports sedans running at Winton, so that's pretty cool. And I think Rand did say they're running next weekend as well. From memory, as they cross the line there goes Schaefer there, Simpson, Roberts just coming out of turn 12 now, just showing how far back he is, the wall cam. We'll pick him up nicely here as he roars past and disappears down towards the sea. As I said, the time's locked at 5:59 a.m. That's why it's not getting any brighter or any sunnier here at Phillip Island. But we're seeing some consistent laps now. They're just popping them in lap after lap. The lap chart here for Lockie Barlow shows that lap 13 was not so good, was it? Oh no, it was much better in fact. He actually pulled away from Hansen by 1.9 seconds on that lap. So he has been consistent. You can see a 28.4, then a 27.4, 27.1, 27.3 and a 27.2. His lap time's looking very decent indeed. Alright, let's talk iRacing. Next GT3 car they should make. What do you reckon? Got any Bentley lovers out there? I know I always loved the Bentley in real life. Listen to that thing roar around Bathurst. What other GT3 cars are we missing? The GTR. I know someone said that the other day. They've just released Fuji, which we're at on Thursday night for the V8 Veterans, the Fuji racetrack. But how cool would it be if they released a mighty GTR in iRacing to join the GT3 ranks? That would be cool. What other ones have I missed? We've got a pretty good range. The new Mercedes seems to be working well. Lockie Barlow in that tonight. This is the brand new model GT3 Merc. But what else do we not have? We don't have a Nissan, do we? Schaefer still out in front by now 3 seconds. So that gap is blowing right out. He is on fire. National Sports Sedans next running at the Bend next weekend, is it? No, sorry, it's 29th and 31st of July. It's a little bit away. This is PJ Whiteman in a battle with Jordan Knockolds. So it's good to see Jordan has got the car back out there. He was one of the unlucky drivers caught up in that opening lap crash. Got himself up into 13th. Now, with the progressive grid, if you can claw back some positions, it's going to help you make something of your evening. I know a few guys last night in the Roads to Rumble talked about the fact that they had a bit of a nothing night after that opening crash. It meant that the rest of their 1 hour and 40-minute race was a little bit boring, trying to catch the back of the pack as Koister has gone off the track now as well. And where's he dropped it down in Southern Loop? Yeah, Southern Loop. But as I was saying, I'm always impressed when a driver picks it up and gets out and has another crack, even though they may be a little upset with how things have gone. How's this shot? Beautiful artistic shot as they come into focus. Med sitting behind as well, looking good. And Bond. Carroll in the slipstream of the lap car of Dexter as well. And we wait for McClurkin to come through. He's just coming onto the pit straight now. We'll see his headlights come into focus as well. So what a beautiful looking race car that is. Western Plains Nissans has breathed fire around turn 1 and then down into the Southern Loop. Beautiful. Right, back with your race leader, the Gold Key entry, Cert One Motorsport driver, Rock Schaefer, 4.5 seconds, just navigating his way through some lap traffic right now. Keith says, you don't know what you're missing till you've written on your Nissan. My old Bluebird. Hey, do they make I reckon there'd be some nice Bluebird sports sedans. I'm going to Google. So let's do some Googling tonight whilst the... So I'm looking for a Bluebird sports sedan. Not finding anything yet. Has anyone turned a Tesla into a sports sedan yet? Ripped all the batteries out and put a big V8 in there? I reckon that'd be a cool fiberglass chassis to have. Oh, I've still got such a soft spot for the 2-litre cars. I always say if Miles Bond would give me his car, I would love it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you a quick picture. If I quickly Google one, not get in trouble. By the way, I think I said last week, we played one of Rand's songs and I was like, oh, I'll just play it. Surely we won't get a copyright strike. We did. We got in trouble. So they muted some of our audio, unfortunately. I'm just trying to get a look at one of, it's not letting me blow it up to a big picture here, but one of Miles Bond's cars in Google search looks incredible. One of my favourite. No, it's not going to work. So anyway, let's not risk it again. We can't risk any more copyright strikes. As Schaefer, 5.2 now. Ryan Simpson. Then a gap of 9.2 back to Roberts gap behind him 9.5. Back to Barlow, gap behind him 11.5, and back to Hansen, the gap behind him 13.3. Back to Collins on your screen now. Then it's 3.1. Back to Nichols. Then it's 4.5. Back to this man Daniel. And just a second behind him is Rob Medson, closing that margin down slightly. He was about 0.8 of a second quicker on the previous lap. So if we're going to see a late challenge here, it will be Rob Medson probably challenging for 8th position, I would say. Everything else is well spread out tonight. George Fury ran the Bluebird at Bathurst. Thanks, Pete Ellenbogen. That was a reply to Keith Logan's question. I'll tell you what I miss, Pete, is the Formula 5000. That was one of my favourite experiences of broadcasting that series. It was incredible. As we have a quick look at the George Fury Bluebird. See if we can't get that up on the screen without getting myself in trouble as well. There you go, look at that. Beautiful. What a good looking race car. Very, very cool. Righto, we've only got a couple of laps to go here. We're 28 minutes in, it's lap 20 of 22. And Brock Schaefer knows what to do. He's out there winning it by an absolute country mile right now. And putting himself in the best position to start race 2 from the front row and try and get a clean sweep tonight, which will help his championship points. He's obviously lacking slightly in the points department because he missed the first 2 rounds of the series. This is the best way to come back and be dominant and then sneak his way with a chance to win the championship in the final round next week on a Tuesday night, as well as McClurkin fighting with Knockholes here. Goes straight past him, and McClurkin, Knockholes goes around the outside, these two, and this is for 12th position. Jordan goes back up into 12th now, McClurkin back to 13th. So a good little scrap down here for the minor places outside the top 10, but they don't care, they're having fun. And Audi versus McLaren, who can bring it home from there for these two. And you've got Brendan Jenner and Mark Pryor back in 16th and 17th. Ash McClurkin behind them as well. Remember, one of those cars is down a lap. I think it's Lockie Barlow. In fact, no, Lockie Barlow's up in 4th. I do apologise. So 4th place, just ahead of 16th and 17th place on the racetrack. But let's go to Brock Schaefer because he's only got a lap and a little bit to go. And this performance has been, once again, next level. He ran a certain pace for the first half of it, and Ryan Simpson stayed with him, but this second half has just been blistering. And he's now pulled the margin out to 6.3, 6.4 seconds. He continues to improve. Last lap around, he was 0.4 quicker than Simpson, and I think he's going to do it again on this one. So he comes around onto the pit straight. Full commitment, 1 lap to go. White flag here for the Australian Sports Sedan, race 1 of 2 tonight. We've got the 50k plate coming up straight after this, so don't go anywhere. And there's points tonight for both races as your race leader here comes up behind series organiser Ram McClurkin, who won't get in his way. The last thing he'd want to do is trip over the race leader. But Schaefer looks like he's going to win this one by, I reckon, 7.5 seconds the way he's going. That previous lap was 0.4 quicker. Both drivers were actually chased down slightly by Ben Roberts, who just did a 26.3 on the previous lap. McClurkin gets out of the way nicely and Schaefer goes through. No other real battles to speak about. Mark Pryor is on the back of Brendan Jenner. Is he challenging him in? It's pretty close, but good exit out of the corner there for Jenner. He disappears off into the distance. Brock Schaefer for the final time up through the hayshed. Ram McClurkin shadowing him on the way home here. Drops it down into MG for the last time, and from here on in it's just a matter of squeezing the throttle, turn 11 to the left, wait till it bites, clip the apex, open it up now. It's a 6.4 second lead through the final corner, and from here on in it's just a matter of waving to the crowd and taking the checker flag. Brock Schaefer wins race number 1 of the Australian Sports Sedan, round number 4. Live from Phillip Island, thanks to One Motorsports. He's pretty happy with that. He bins it into the fence in celebration. Ryan Simpson gets P2. Good effort as well. Third place will go to Roberts, who was involved in that earlier crash at the start, but he's managed to sneak back and get some valuable championship points. Followed by Lockie Barlow, who will finish now coming through to cross the line just ahead of Ross Hansen by 11 seconds or so. But Barlow, great result, takes 4th place tonight. Hansen will get 5th in the Ford, so that's, I think, the best position we've seen one of the Fords in this series. So great job. Takes the checker flag now. Sam Collins will come home 6th place ahead of Shane Nichols. There he goes. Rob Medson looks like he's going to take 10th out. He's got Hayden Carroll just challenging him around the final corner now. And there you go. To the line, it's going to be Medson just by a whisker, P8. Hayden Carroll gets 9th, and Kurt Bond rounds out your top 10. We'll get the results up for you shortly. And then we'll go for a quick warm-up, and then race 2, the 50k plate, 12 laps to finish the night. Don't go anywhere. You're live on RACESTARS TV. So here's your race results coming up on the screen now, thanks to iRacing and SDK, and it is Brock Schaefer with a 6.6 second win in the end over Ryan Simpson for Palmeiras Smash Repairs. Benny Roberts 3rd. Good points for the championship for all 3 of those drivers. Lockie Barlow, a consistent drive there for Barlow Racing, 29.9 seconds off the lead. Ross Hansen got 5th ahead of Collins, Nichols, Medson, Carroll and Bond. Then it was Ormans back in 11th place tonight. Knockholes got 12th ahead of Ram McClurkin, Tony Don, PJ Whiteman, Brendan Jenner, Mark Pryor and Ash McClurkin. Unlucky at the start, finishes 18th place. 19th goes to Matt Dexter, Rue Koister and Eddie Metz. That is disappointing. Let's hope he comes back for the final race. Eddie unluckily caught up in that opening incident as well. Rebecca says, woohoo, well done, but why hit the wall at the end? Yeah, why mess your car up? Super job, Lockie says, Peter Ellenbogen as well. And yeah, fantastic racing. Righto, we'll just hang on for a second here. We've got a quick 5-minute warm-up. I'm going to have a quick drink. Be back with you shortly. Alright, so 2.5 minutes to go in this warm-up session prior to the race. Ram McClurkin joins me now. And hello, Ram. Big crash at the start of...
I just watched it. So BJ has admitted fault. Eddie, he hit Eddie in the back from what I can see. I don't know, like, in the end, Eddie broke a little bit early, but I said, Eddie's allowed to. He's in front of you. He's allowed to brake when he wants to brake. You've got to avoid him. So, you know, BJ was really close to him. You know, you'd think maybe if you're BJ leading the championship, you'd leave half a car length just in case.
Yep.
But anyway.
Is Eddie coming back for the last race, hopefully?
I would say Eddie has got a machete and he's on his way to see BJ. Nah, from the words that I heard from Eddie's mouth, which I can't repeat, and I swear a lot and I'm still not going to repeat them. Yeah, look, it's one of those things. Unfortunately, you know, that took out a lot of people's races, so it doesn't just. So.
And obviously, Benny was within the rules to back him up before the start, because a few people said, "Oh, maybe it's, you know, that's what happens when you back the pack up." But that's
what did he do? I was doing 80k on the start.
So that was 80k, was it? Right to the line. It just seemed to compress and go for a long way before it went clean.
We were all a bit far behind, and we all caught up, and then it compressed. So no, I didn't feel like. Let me have a look. I'll have a quick look.
I mean, let's quickly talk about your start too, because that was incredible. We watched the onboard of that in a replay, and you, the C parts in front of you, and you just snuck through at turn 1.
Yeah, I was really lucky. I came off by myself, so that's my fault.
I think you're up to 5th at one point there.
Yeah, I was doing cool. So looking at this, they're just under. Like, it's not far enough under that I would. It's a 3k under. Who was pole? Was Benny pole?
Brock was pole, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Look, no, Brock wasn't pole because it looks.
Benny was pole.
Benny was pole. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I'm not going to be too upset with that. 77.
But yeah,
77, 78 from looking at this.
But definitely, Eddie did have the car behind him with its nose into his bottom, basically, pushing him along the start-finish straight. That's how it appeared on our screen, anyway.
I'm watching it right now.
He was bump drafting him down the straight.
BJ was to the left. Yeah, he was right on him. Like, what is he? The problem is, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to be aware that the guy in front of you could do something real, could break. could lo and behold for a corner that he doesn't want to hit Ryan. I think BJ probably. Look, I think BJ didn't argue with it. I think he probably needed to just, be half a carling when you've got a points lead like that. But anyway, it's a bit of fun, isn't it?
50k play coming up right now. So rolling start once again. Good luck, Ran, and. It looks like we're going to have, progressive grid, so Roberts does get himself back into 3rd. But yeah, good luck, Ran, and hopefully we'll speak to you at the end anyhow, but good luck. 13th place. It's unlucky for some. It's lucky for you, mate.
Mate, 13. I love 13. Bring it on, bro.
See ya. Ran McClurkin jumps back out, and he goes in to get set for the race. Let's have a quick look at the grid now as they line up from the progressive grid from race 1. Brock Schaefer starts from pole position. Ryan Simpson alongside him. Then it's Benjamin Roberts. Lockie Barlow rounds out your top 4. Ross Hansen starts on the 3rd row, P5, with Samuel Collins next to him. Shane Nichols and Robert Medson start from the 4th row, 7th and 8th, with Hayden Carroll and Kurt Bond rounding out your top 10. Daniel Allman starts from 11th place on the grid with Jordan Knockholes, your top 12. 13th on the grid is Ran McClurkin with Tony Don next to him, 14th place. PJ Whiteman starts from 15th. Brendan Jenner 16th, and it's Mark Pryor. Ash McClurkin starts from 18th on the grid tonight. And then we have 19th place Matt Dexter, Ruud Koistra, and Eddie Mitz, your top 21 drivers. Let's hope Eddie's out there. I don't think he is. Bond, Pryor, and Metz don't seem to have taken it to the circuit, sadly. Right, they roll away under caution here with the Porsche safety car. A full lap to warm the tyres and get ready to go here for the final race of the night. And it is the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries, round number 4 of 5. So it's the 4th of 5 rounds. Only one to go after this. And I think we finish it at Winton, don't we? So it's going to be a good way to finish things off. It's been great. I mean, I'll think back to Sandown. How cool was that? But tonight, we're going to see who can keep their nose clean. Will we see another big crash off the start? Will someone like Samuel Collins excel tonight in the Porsche and make his way through? Roberts will start from 3rd. He's got to try and clear 2 very quick drivers at the front. Will Ryan Simpson try and get revenge here on Brock Schaefer as well? Watch the mid-pack battles between Don, Carroll, Jordan Knockholes will be quick off the start as well. A couple of these drivers that were disadvantaged in the first race with that crash will now try and sneak their way back up towards a big points finish. But long lap as we cruise around behind the Porsche. There's a long shot just showing Schaefer, Simpson and Roberts and Lockie Barlow, who drove super well in the first race. He did finish quite a way off the lead, but it was a good consistent run to still hold on for a 4th place. So there's a screenshot to take under the 4 and 20 shot, looking over the water here at Phillip Island. As 18 cars are left tonight. We've got a bit of a smaller field anyhow, being that it's a Tuesday night rather than a Wednesday night, but we've still got all the keen drivers out there ready to go. So Schaefer will get the honours to run us down that pit straight in the lead. Now, the rules of this series is you can't jump early, so it's not necessarily holding the pack up. You've got to hold 80 kph until iRacing says green. So I do apologise if I may have suggested that they were being held up. I know it was suggested in the chat, but at this point Schaefer will be just holding 80 kph and everyone will try and close up. Someone's gone straight through there into the pit lane. Is that Ross Hansen? So Ross Hansen's gone to the pits. I wonder if he doesn't have to serve maybe some sort of penalty as they appear. There goes the safety car in the lane. Ross Hansen behind him. Maybe he wants to do a pit lane start. And they've got to wait now for the iRacing green, which I'll tell you when it is. We're still holding. We're still holding. And now we get the green. So they're allowed to jump away. It's neck and neck. Pretty even start between the top two. Simpson maybe just got a little bit better of a jump on Schaefer, and Ben Roberts looking aggressive in behind as well. So far so good. They go through turn one. This time I think they've all kept it on the racetrack. Bit of overtaking in the background, a little bit of tyre smoke as well, but we've all got through unscathed as Schaefer leads us out the other side of the southern loop. Behind him, Simpson, Roberts, Barlow, then Collins and Medson made up 2 spots. Knockholes made up 4 spots at the opening part of this lap as well as they head down towards the big braking zone at Honda for the first time. And the field compresses, everyone being nice and cautious. And in the background you can see that's Mark Pryor, who started in the pits, just closing up onto the back of the field. But Schaefer in control, heading up towards the hay shed for the first time. The top 3 already starting to sneak away. It was evident in the first race from the get-go. It's once again happening now. You can see about 20 car lengths between Benny Roberts and Lockie Barlow. Up over the top of Lukey they go. Schaefer in control, 0.5 of a second. Roberts already looking racy. Needs to be so careful here for his championship hopes to not get tangled with Simpson as he tries to make an overtake. It's a short race, it's 12 laps, so they tend to feel a little bit more urgent in making their way towards the front in the second race of the night. Schaefer goes through, does a 1:32 from a rolling start there, not bad at all. Back in the pack, it's busy. Aldermans and Shane Nichols fighting over 10th place. Ash McClurkin goes around with Don just behind him, and Rue Koistra out there battling with Ram McClurkin. Here's a couple of series organisers. Rue Koistra, obviously from FRG, does the F3A series and is a great organiser at that, racing alongside Ram McClurkin here. Oh dear, I'd hate to see these two get together. Oh, but it's always good to watch. And into the braking zone they go, side by side. Koistra in front gets through, McClurkin drops back to 15th place. The Lamborghini leads the McLaren. Rand fights back down the inside, almost has a look. That was close. Good battle going on between these two, loving it. Let's jump on board Rue Koistra and look out the back. Under the 4 and 20 minutes. Listen to the big slap as it changes gears, that sequential gearbox up through the pattern there. And up over Luke, he's got some good speed through there. The back end of the car's got to stay connected. Sometimes takes a few laps for it to feel good in these cars, but great racing there between Koistra and McClurkin. Tony Don just in front of them. And by the way, Tony Don, another shout out to him, the all-in-one motorsport entrant, getting behind tonight's round 4 and being the round sponsor. So big thanks to Tony. He's been here since the early days of the Sports Sedan eSeries, and he's been a great supporter. 125.2 is the new fastest lap there for Brock Schaefer. He leads by 0.6 of a second, so he's not holding back this time. Roberts has gone off and into the fence, I think. Roberts is in the wall, and that's a big impact. He may be stuck there, and he is. He's out of the race. He's gone back to the pits with an escape manoeuvre. So has he done that by himself? We'll only know if we go to a replays. Let's have a little bit of a look now. So this was, is this Roberts? No, we'll go and find him. There he is, into the fence. Let's take that back a little bit. Was there any contact? He put a wheel out on the grass, I think. So this view will give us a shot. Just goes out wide. Back end just lets go there over the curb. And it's a one-way ticket to the barrier. So he goes in front end and it locks into the fence there. And unfortunately, once it does that in iRacing, you can't get out of it. You're stuck there. and he decides to eject to the pit lane, and it's all over Red Rover, unfortunately for Roberts. Back live, let's go back to your race leader with Brock Schaefer out in front, and that's going to hurt Roberts' championship chances now, isn't it? So the man who's leading this championship, and he's fighting his way back into this now, Brendan Jenner running in 6th place. Just to remind you on the championship standings, by the way, it was Jenner leading coming into this round 4 from Roberts, and then Ryan Simpson and Brock Schaefer and Sam Collins up there as well. So Brock Schaefer may leapfrog Simpson with this performance tonight to put himself up into 3rd in the championship. It'll depend where Roberts ends up as well, whether or not Brock can even leapfrog up into 2nd in the championship, which is a possibility. Brendan Jenner, with his performance in race 1, may also have his lead of the championship under threat. So it's going to be interesting coming into the final round. I think it's going to be quite close as we head to winter. It's going to not be as it seems, and it's going to come down to the wire for season number 12 of the Australian Sports Sedans eSeries. This race is the 50k plate, not for points, Luke. It is for points tonight, I can tell you, Mr. Ellenbogen. So I was informed before the race, in fact, when I was speaking to Rand at the start of the broadcast, that for the first time tonight, the 50k plate is for points, just to point that out. So it's included in the full championship round, and hence why it's important to get a good result in this one as well. And Rand was saying that because it's not the end of the series, they decided to make this one a points race. Hello, Graham Ellis. Nice to have you watching, man. Hope you're doing well. Crazy night last night in the MX-5s. And Bev Parry as well says, good luck, Benny. Unfortunately, that luck ran out for Benny into the fence a couple of laps ago now. Matt Dexter's also crashed. And Dexter running again, but has crashed. Ash McClurkin overtakes Shane Nichols there. Nice job. McClurkin finds himself now up 10 positions into the top 8. Remember, he had that unlucky crash at the start of race 1, and I keep saying it's great to see Ash back. He came and commentated with me last week, which was phenomenal. And he's out there having a much better run in race 2, whacking the tail of the big Merc. And he's got Rue Koistra now snapping at his heels. Rue's already had one battle with McClurkin, Rand McClurkin. Now he's about to have a battle with Ash McClurkin now. You're right on board with Ash. Lap 6 now for Brock Schaefer, out in front by 1.3 seconds. The hum and the big V8 here for the Merc as it crosses the line. And look at the slipstream here for the Lambo. Pulls out of the draft now, has a look into turn 1, but doesn't make a move. Koistra stays in 9th place. Nichols also shadowing there in 10th. Tony Donnan was wagging the tail through turn 1. Kept it together in the all-in-one motorsport Audi, and then you got McClurkin just behind him. Kurt Bond running 13th now with Mark Pryor in tow. Then you've got Knockolls running 15th. Matt Dexter 16th is off again. So Dexter not having the best of fun down at turn 2. He just clips the back end of the fence there and comes back towards the race circuit. Ross Hansen running 18th with Roberts back out on the track. And can you believe it? He's behind Ryan Simpson down a lap. So that's unlucky for Benny tonight. At least he'll have a bit of a battle here, but he's got to be careful not to just get involved with Simpson and obey those blue flags. If he can't get past him and pull away, obviously he's just going to have to relegate and stay behind Simpson. And all the while this is going on, Schaefer now pulls it out to a 2-second lead. Sher says, hey Luke, I've got net problems doing this from my phone. Oh, that's commitment. Hello, Sher. We'll show a bit more Rue Koistra if you're here. He's battling with Ash McClurkin now. This is a great scrap going on right now. Koistra is about to have a shot. down into one, and he goes to the inside. He tried this before, wasn't close enough this time. McClurkin, and he's going to hang around the outside. Oh man, that's close, and Ash hangs on again. Fantastic little scrap. Ash McClurkin showing some form. He's gone a little bit wide through the southern loop, but then pulls it back into line and driving out of his skin tonight into the top 8. Koistra not having an answer with the speed of that Merc into the braking zone. Not that it's much of a braking zone turn 1, it's basically a slight lift. Cross all your fingers and hope you're going to make it out the other side. This is Jenner and Collins. Collins in the little Porsche. In fact, on the back of Lockie Barlow, isn't it? Let's jump on board with Sam Collins Motorsport. Right up underneath the rear wing of that big Merc now, and having a think about a shot over the top. Maybe you'll switch back across to the right hand side into MG and send it down the inside. All the while Jenner's getting closer as well. Alderman's just hit the fence, I think. Or has he? I heard a big crunch in the background, and he has. So Daniel's gone straight on up there, and I think clobbered the wall. Let's have a quick look at a replay. I heard the sound, but I didn't see the impact. So he's just going through the hay shed. Does he lose it there? Just touched the dirt on entry, and I think he kept it out of the fence. So good job. But a heart in mouth moment there for him. Rejoins back into 11th place. Back with the battle for P3. Lockie Barlow, Sam Collins, and Jenner, who's super quick. We're on board with the Ferrari driver now for Machine Cult Motorsport. Probably fancies himself sending it down the inside, and not close enough. Defensive as well from Samuel Collins. Got a lot of time. Oh, crash in front. Collins just got wiped out, unfortunately. Oh, he kept it on the racetrack, but Barlow and Collins just got together. And a nasty impact now. Barlow, who may have copped some damage from that impact, spins the car around, now backs it off the circuit. So sadly for him, he's going to drop way outside the top 10. So just watch the onboard on the replay bottom of your screen as Barlow gets back up to speed now in 14th place. So he's lost out big time. Now just watch the pinch in front. I think he was a little bit slow, Barlow, off the turn, and then there was contact and plenty of damage for both drivers. Schaefer still leads. 1.8 seconds now as he crosses the line. Lap 9.4 to go. Jenner is getting closer. 8.9 seconds off the top positions. It's still a 2-horse race, as it was for race 1 as well, between Schaefer and Simpson. And Simpson just doesn't seem to have the outright pace here to run with Schaefer. The last lap around, he did a 126.26, a 126.35 for your race leader, so he was quicker on that lap as Collins has gone off again and drops outside the top 5. Curtis Pryor says Brock's car looks, and then gives that little, that little, what's that symbol called? The OK symbol, but it's like with your fingers. Yeah, it's a good looking race car. Except for the nose on the BMW, I love it. It's a great sounding race car. Listen to the onboard. Rue Koistra's in trouble, and he'd worked his way up to 5th, wasn't it? Now he's dropped back to 8th. Ash McClurkin's elevated to 5th now. What a great drive he's having. Rand McClurkin 1 position off the top 10 as well as he chases down Kurt Bond. Mark Pryor's on the tail of Rand. Knockoll's getting back into this as well now, 13th. We've only got 3 to go. Schaefer's already off on his 10th lap. So counting down the time now is Mark Pryor under attack from the Audi. He's going to get through, and Ram McClurkin might also be under attack shortly from Jordan Knockoll's Audi as well, who's really closing that gap down so quick now. 11th place for McClurkin, and currently at 24 seconds off the lead of the race. Meanwhile, Rue Koistra, and is that Sam Collins again, just up the road, trying to get onto the back of Ash McClurkin. A top 5 for Ash would be, I think, so rewarding for him after coming back to this series and having a bit of bad luck. I don't think I've seen him ever really have a bad night on his own accord. It's usually someone else making a mistake that sends him to the dry cleaners early. So it's good that he's actually having a clean run here. He's got a great little livery, plenty of livery. The livery's great on the car, but plenty of detail as well. I love the finer detail, which you don't notice until you zoom right in. Check out the way the AMG sparkles there. It's almost like a gold sticker pack. Looks very cool. Schaefer goes through to start lap 11, the penultimate lap of this race. Now 14.5 minutes in, the gap 2.4 seconds. It's been all smooth sailing for this young fella. Old linkage gear shift, says Keith. Yeah, it clunks through the gears, doesn't it? As Collins and McClurkin still close together here. It's not over between these two, that's for sure. Let's jump on board with Sam Collins, jump down to the nose camera as he closes right up under the back wing of that big Mercedes-Benz. Sunrise here has been the key flavour of this broadcast. 5:59 a.m. here at Phillip Island. Down the inside he goes. Move done. Sam Collins now up into 5th. Ash McClurkin back to 6th, and he timed that well. He set him up from a long way back, and good racing. It's been good, clean racing between those two. Sam Collins, I think since day dot, watching him race in this series, he's always been clean and calm, collected. I remember the Holden Commodore that he raced in the first National Sports Sedan eSeries. It was great, yellow Commodore, and he's always been a clean racer. But we come into the final lap now. The white flag will drop. 1 to go here in this Australian Sports Sedan eSeries round number 4, the penultimate round of the series. We've got 1 to go after this. It's a 1:26.0, 1:26.3 for P2. And Brendan Jenner is coming across the line 3rd with a lap to go, 10 seconds off the lead. Does a 1:26.8, so Schaefer smooth sailing, bringing it home crystal clear. Meanwhile, Ash McClurkin and Kurt Bond battle as the white flag drops between them. 9th and 10th place. Jordan Knockolds next in line, 11th. Ram McClurkin as Medson's dropped it. Can you believe it? From 4th place. Medson's dropped it down at the southern loop, is it? And he's gone a long way off the circuit, which means he's going to drop outside the top 10. That's devastating. After such a good race here in the second race tonight, he's ended up dropping to 14th place. How punishing was that with that big lose? Meanwhile, Brock Schaefer about to taste the champagne again tonight. I'm sure everyone that supports this young fellow will be loving the fact that he's going to bring it home for another win in the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries as he rounds the last couple of corners. Smooth saving. Let's hope he keeps it all clean and doesn't destroy the car this time around. And put your hands together. He's won it again. Brock Schaefer takes a clean sweep tonight. 2 from 2. He wins this round, round 4, thanks to One Motorsports from Phillip Island. Ryan Simpson gets 2nd with a great performance as well. Brendan Jenner will cross the line tonight and take P3. He's pretty happy with that. Flashes the headlights. Sam Collins crosses the line 4th. Great result. Rue Koistra will get 5th tonight as well. Good comeback from Rue. Made up 15 positions in the final race. The Lamborghini of Shane Nichols gets 6th ahead of Tony Don. Kurt Bond, Knockolds will go home in 9th place tonight. And Ash McClurkin inside the top 10. Brings it to a halt on the grass, and what a great performance by him. Just spammers coming on YouTube. Let me quickly block all those. Block. And Brocky Schaefer too strong tonight. Let's head over and we'll have some interviews shortly, and we'll wrap it all up here on RACESTARS TV. There's your results up on the screen now. Brock Schaefer confirmed the winner from iRacing, 2.9 seconds over Ryan Simpson and Brandon Jenny, a top 3 there. Collins got 4th ahead of Coister, Nichols, Don, Bond, Knockholes and McClurk and Ashley getting 10th. His brother ran right behind him in 11th. Robert Medson got 12th tonight. Unfortunate to drop it on the last lap there. Rob could have got a lot higher. Mark Pryor gets 13th. Lockie Barlow 14th. Followed by Allman's, PJ Whiteman, Ross Hanson and Benny Roberts. Plumb last down the back tonight in this second race. And there was Dexter, Carroll and Metz who did start the final race. In fact, Matt Dexter did 19th. Carroll and Metz went home early tonight. So unfortunate. We'll go and talk to the top 3 now. See if we can get them in for a quick chat. There's a bit of smoke going on in the pit lane. Let's see if we can get Brock Schaefer, Ryan Simpson and Brendan Jenner in first of all for a little bit of a talk. If we can track him down, hopefully. Here they are now. So Brock, well done, mate. Congratulations on the win tonight. 2 from 2. Good for the points in the championship with only 1 round to go. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. It was good. I don't know if iRacing changed something, but I have never experienced so much tire deg in a sim ever. It was like so bad.
You didn't show it.
Oh, I reckon Ryan was doing the same. Like the first race, first half, I was just like trying to like tiptoe around, save the tires. It was so bad, but it was fun anyway. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good racing here. It's always good to come to Phillip Island, a track which you guys obviously love. And Ryan, you probably raced here a fair few times yourself, and you did a good job out there tonight. But in the end, what was about 0.2 of a second, maybe the outright lap pace with yourself and Brock difference?
Yeah, thanks, Luke. I'd say that is probably about right, but obviously Brock's super quick wherever he goes, so pretty happy with tonight. Better than last round at Bathurst when nothing sort of really came together, so kept it clean this race, and Phillip Island's got to probably be one of my favourite tracks, so it's always good to get on it in the sim, and enjoyed it.
Yeah, look good out there. And Brendan, mate, you fought your way back after an incident in race 1 to get 3rd in the 50k plate tonight. And by the way, this race does have points attached to it, so it's important for the championship. But mate, first of all, just tell us about race 1, and then obviously you fight back there, 13 places to get a top 3 in race 2.
Race 1 wasn't the greatest. I was a bit too close to Eddie, and I accidentally didn't expect him to break that early, but I'll take it on the chin. But race 2, I just tried to keep it clean, pull my finger out, and not do a repeat of race 1, and it paid off.
Yeah, it's a good track for overtaking. The Ferrari seemed pretty strong here tonight, and you made it look good getting through on some quite fast competitors to a top 3. So well done, man. Let's do some thank yous, starting with our race winner tonight, Brock Schaefer, and getting your championship hopes alive, mate, after missing the first race. Who would you like to thank for the win tonight?
I'd like to thank Gold Key Financial Services, the Barista Shed, Marsden Park, Cert 1 Building Certifications, Breakthrough, Ran, and yourself, and everyone that raced and everyone that watched. And sorry to Benny for punting him in race 1. And
Well done, mate. Ryan Simpson, P2, who would you like to thank, mate?
Yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks, Parramatta Smash Repairs, Luke, yourself. Ran again. We're already so far into the season, but been very enjoyable. Well done, Brock. Too quick tonight.
Great job. And then Brendan, finally, our 3rd place for the final race tonight. Who would you like to thank?
Big thanks to Benny for helping me out with the setup. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Big cheers to Ran for all the sessions that he puts up. And cheers to you, Luke, for putting on a great broadcast.
Thanks, mate. It was fun again tonight. Always love coming to this place. Love the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries, and 1 round to go. It's going to come down to the wire. Ran. It's, man, that second race was cool, and both yourself and your brother right up there fighting. Ash got up into 10th, just ahead of you, so that was good to watch as well.
Yeah, I think he fell off, didn't he? I think something happened to him.
He got 10th, so he was up in 5th or 6th at one point, but yeah, he finished P10.
Where did I finish then?
11th.
How the hell did I do that? Last time I looked, I was way further back. That's really bizarre. Okay,
well, Rob Medson dropped it on the last lap, so he was up in, I think, 4th or 5th. So sadly for him, he finished in 12th place.
Yeah, there was, you know what? There was more unforced errors tonight, I think, than any other round from what I could tell.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people falling off. Like, I reckon Jordan Knockhold's passed me about 7 times in that second race. That he's not that much further ahead that he should be passing me 7 times. But yeah.
Well, Brock was saying that there felt like there was a lot more deg tonight since the update. Ryan, what do you think? Is there something that's changed, do you think, in the tyre deg?
Look, I know it's tie deg in a lot of races, but yeah, for sure, it was something that you definitely had to manage in these 2 races. Like, especially the first race, it dropped off from like mid-distance to like, I had some moments there where I nearly lost it, but not so bad in the 12-lapper. But yeah, in the longer race for sure, it was getting pretty gnarly at some points.
Yeah, and that's around what we noticed with some of the spins. They were just sort of awkward down at Southern Loop. A lot of guys just the back end, just stepping away, and then as it does with iRacing, it just keeps going and going and going. You can never catch it back.
Yeah, you can actually. I'm going to argue with that one. It's got a lot better over time. When I first got on here, as soon as you go a little bit sideways, you're gone. But now you can fight it a little bit in these cars, at least.
I guess that shows the point that I haven't raced for 2 years on iRacing. Haven't had time.
I don't know if you should be listening to the guy that qualifies down the back, though, to be fair.
Well, it's good, man. Good racing tonight. Let us know where we are next week, a Tuesday night again for the final round of this series.
We are at Winton, and I'm quickly looking up if I've written down how many laps or anything we're doing. But we've got Winton. We're finishing up with Winton, and that could be the worst, most chaotic race of the season. We're doing a 10-lap and a 20-lap reverse grid.
Yeah, cool. And then obviously with the championship points, we'll get an update on that before next week, but it's going to come down to the wire, and anyone could win it. I think there's probably going to be 3-4 drivers that could win the championship.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming that BJ was very badly hurt in the first one, and I think Benny was hurt in both of them, wasn't he?
Yeah, he crashed out of race 2, finished 19th, sadly.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Did you see what happened?
He got third in race 1, so that'll be all right, but he just put in the fence down at turn 1.
Oh, okay.
Just touched it, went over the ripple strip at turn 1, just touched the wheels on the grass, and a one-way ticket to tragedy.
One-way ticket to paradise. Yeah, I didn't hear him yell at anyone. He was going to send Brock. They were talking about that in the first lap, supposedly, but obviously that didn't happen. So, yeah, Winton's going to be very interesting, isn't it?
It is, and yeah, I can't wait for it. Obviously, this has been the first time we've been able to do a full Australian Sports Sedan eSeries at Australian tracks only, which has been awesome. How cool if they added 2 or 3 more.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? I would like the bend because I need to practice it more. And on R Factor 2, I don't really like it. But yeah, that would be nice. But you know what? I'm going to say just thank you. Like, we always want more. But yeah. I think the fact that we've got that many from 2 years ago or whatever, nearly 2.5 years ago, we wouldn't have thought we'd get freaking Winton and Sandown. And Sandown has provided the most entertaining kind of round, hasn't it?
It has, yes. Sandown was incredible. So we've got to look back on that one at the end of the series for sure.
Yeah, and I suppose we've got to have a think about whether we just do the Aussie tracks again or what we do next season. The push at the moment is to stick with the GT3 cars, even though they are not sports sedans, but they are probably the best cars for people with limited time to be semi-competitive with guys that are aliens, because the spread is a lot better this season, don't you think?
100%, yeah, that's good.
And really, that's the entertainment and the fun factor, isn't it? So, yeah, I think at the moment, unless iRacing brings out some, Tony Ricciardello's car and Jordan Caruso's Audi and such, I think we'll be sticking with these.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, thank you. We'll see you at Winton next week. It's going to be incredible. So, all your hard work, thanks for that in the background, and we'll see you in 7 days' time.
And thank you, Luke, and thanks for everyone that's watching and cheering on.
Thanks, mate.
I know 3/4 of them are here for Brock, but we still thank you.
Awesome.
All right, see yous.
Cheers, mate. See you later. That was Ram McClurkin as we go to the end of the broadcast. Thanks, everyone that tuned in tonight. Thanks for being a part of it. And we're going to finish once again on this fantastic intro that Ram's put together. We'll see you next week for the finale at Winton as Brock Schaefer celebrates his win in style. Good night.